of utilizing healing in the exercise world. So, Marcos, do you want to come up and tell us more about yourself and your story?
Good afternoon, everyone. How's everyone doing? Good. Awesome.
Give a round of applause, you guys. Yeah.
All right, so my name is Marcos Hurtado. I've been a personal trainer and a wellness coach for over 5 years now, and also I've been vegan for 3 years. So the reason why I decided to become a personal trainer was because growing up, I was bullied all the time. I was sheltered, socially awkward, super duper skinny, and just not athletic at all. And I always felt like weak and never felt capable of doing much at all. So then over the years, like even when I tried for football my sophomore year, I was like the slowest and weakest person there. I couldn't even bench the barbell, just the bar by itself. So that's the kind of situation I was in. So then over the years, about 8, 9 years later, I had my own trainer and I refinished college, I had my small business operations degree, and I just didn't know what to do. And then once I had a trainer and he just whipped me up into shape, not just physically, but mentally as well, I was like, I wish I had this person with me when I was in high school, when I was younger, even as a kid growing up. So like, you know what? I'm gonna be that person that I wish I had when I was younger, because I know just thousands or millions of other people that could really use a proper coach for them to get on the right track. So then about 2 years later, I got into powerlifting. And if you know anything about powerlifting is you lift heavy and you eat a lot. Pretty much anything. So I was eating a lot of calories like crazy, Jess knows, and I was eating this way too much, and I just wasn't feeling healthy at all, and I was overworking too. And then years later, I was introduced to, not about a year later, I was introduced to veganism, the plant-based diet, and I was very skeptical at first. I was like, how do you get your protein? Very skeptical. I'm like, nah, I don't want to try this out. And then like a year and a half later, I actually tried it out for 4 weeks. I was like, you know what? This is legit, but how am I gonna get enough protein? So I started doing protein shakes, and I was like, you know what? This isn't working. Then I was introduced to the whole food plant-based diet. I was like, wow, I feel great. I'm getting stronger, building muscle little by little, but still building. And it's just great overall for me. And another thing too that came to mind was I'm Mexican, and I was like, what about all the other foods like carne asada and queso fresco? For those of you who don't know, it's basically grilled meat and fresh cheese. And I realized that that's not really my culture. That's their perspective of the culture from like the past 50, 60 years. I was like, nah, I don't resonate with that anymore, and I'd rather just eat things that make me feel great right now. So that's something we have to all keep in mind, is there's no need to sacrifice your culture. Instead, you just replace it with things that make you feel great overall. So thank you guys for listening. So a few little tips, go away tips is one, just have confidence in yourself, be around people that bring you up. Second thing is, if you're gonna exercise, make sure you exercise in a healthy and effective way. And the third thing is be mindful of what you eat and know how you feel. Listen to your body, how you eat certain foods, and just keep those 3 things in mind and you'll be able to feel better. And thank you guys for listening.
Great job, Marcos. And how can people find you?
So, oh yeah, by the way, too, I'm also a podcast host, the Empowered with Marcos podcast. It's on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play. And also you can find me on Instagram at Empowered with Marcos, and also my website, empoweredwithmarcos.com. Thank you.
All right, so give it up for Marcos. All right, next up, we have Mario Riveria. Please come on stage. So give a big round of applause for him. There you go.
Hello, everybody. My name is Mario Riveria. They call me the mayor of fitness here in the San Francisco Bay Area. I've been personal training for 8 years now, and I own my own personal training company where we service on-demand personal trainers all over the Bay Area. Today, I'm mostly going to talk about how to connect mental health with exercise and a plant-based diet. So like I said, I've been a personal trainer for 8 years, and fitness has always been a part of my lifestyle, as well as applying fitness to my mental health. And it's always been a coping mechanism. It's always helped me through anything in life. But 4 years ago, my life was changed forever. I almost died. I almost died from toxic mold poisoning. And the only thing that was able to save my life was a plant-based diet. A plant-based diet. Because the food that I was eating and consuming was killing me. And then from there, my mental health diminished, depression, anxiety, all of those things were ruining my life. But I was able to overcome. I was able to overcome and start the fire back within. It's pretty hard to talk about. This is my first time talking about it publicly. So, pretty much what I'm trying to say is, I was in deep shit. I was in deep shit. I was in the darkest hours of my life. I started reading, educating myself, and learned eating plants was good for you. Eating animals was bad for you. Eating cheese was bad for you, and it was killing me. Where was I going with this? And I went vegetarian, and it wasn't good enough. I was still getting sick. 8 months later, I was like, you know what? I told my girlfriend, I'm just gonna go vegan. I have nothing to lose. Since then, my health has got better, my digestion's got better, my life has gotten better. And it's a balance. From there, my health got better, everything got better, my mental clarity got better, right? So it started with plant-based. I wasn't able to exercise. I dropped 30 pounds. A guy that was doing D1 AA rugby, bodybuilding, dropped 30 pounds in 1 year? What? But then I was able to get that clarity back through eating a plant-based diet. That gave me the encouragement to start exercise again. Exercising gave me the mental clarity and my mental health back. So, what I'm trying to say is, it has to be a balance. There has to be a balance to achieve the mental clarity, that mental health, through exercise, through eating right. I like to think about it as mental health as the fire, right? And to get fire, we need a spark and we need lighter fluid. Exercise is a spark. Eating right is lighter fluid. And together we have mental health, good mental health. So pretty much what I'm saying is combine everything. You can't just go after one thing if you leave with something today. And if you want to talk a little bit more about how I was able to cure myself, if you're dealing with the same issues, feel free to reach out. I'll be here.
Thank you, Mario, for that powerful story. Next up, we have the amazing Claudia Larson. Can you tell us more about yourself?
Here you go.
Hi, everyone. How are you? First of all, I want to tell you that I am so happy to be here. I'm genuinely just so happy to be here because I am super passionate about health and fitness, especially cooking. So a little bit about me is I was an overweight kid, and then I found fitness. I started learning, just lifting weights, running marathons, and then doing bodybuilding. But after my first bodybuilding competition, something didn't quite feel right. The meat, the dairy. So I decided to find a vegan coach, which was so hard to find. I couldn't find anybody, so I have found somebody online. And from then on, I haven't looked back. And I am an athlete, but I also know that everyone over here and anywhere, like we struggle with food, right? A plant-based diet, like trying to figure all that out. I didn't know I just like trial and error. And what I am passionate about is showing people, especially beginner people, how to do this, you know? Like after watching the movie Game Changers, my husband and even some people at our CrossFit gym were like, I wanna try this, but I don't know how to do this. Hey, who's a vegan here? Claudia. Hey, let's ask her about recipes. And you know, that is so exciting for me because it's a way for me to share what I'm passionate about, like, and tell people, like, we can do this. Like, you're not gonna be protein deficient. You're gonna get everything you need. Here, let me show you some recipes. So that's what I'm passionate about, and that's how I love to help people, like I said, especially beginners, because you can feel so lost on how to do anything, like, we're so used to before, like your chicken, your protein, your broccoli, your rice. And when you show people you can have all this variety of food and you'll be fine, it's just amazing. So I want to thank Alex and everyone here for giving me the opportunity to share this with you guys and tell you that whether you're like trying to transition just for more, like one time and just trying it out, or like you really want to make this gradual like I did, you can do it. And there's so many people out there to help you, and I'm one of those people. So please, I would love to meet you. If you have any questions or anything, feel free to ask me. And just, I want to meet more people, like, whether, trying to change or I just want to meet anybody that wants to talk about leading a healthy plant-based diet. Thank you.
Great job. All right, next up we have Coach Bree. Can you come on up? Here you go.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Coach Bree, also Brianna. I have a transformation studio in Oakland called Plant-Based Fitness, and the premise that I want to talk to y'all about is my story when it comes to being a single mother and how taking care of myself was the most important decision I ever made for my health and for my daughter, who's back there looking on the phone. She's not paying attention to the fact that I'm up here talking. But anyways, so in my family, I come from a southern roots. Pork is the flavor in everything, right? And that is what formulated my childhood. I thought salad was like, something for privileged people. I'm just gonna be real. I thought salad was something that rich people ate or something like that, but I wasn't supposed to eat salad. So my perspective on eating healthy and living a healthy life was really, really jaded and privileged. And I felt like that kind of stuff was for people who had money or people who looked a certain way, and that wasn't part of my life. Right? So that was one shift that I really had to make, not only in understanding that, yes, I can afford this, no, it's not more expensive, but also that it is for me. And I deserve to eat the food that fuels my body so that I can live my best life. Anaya.
That's how you know she's mom.
Right? So that's where I came from with it. So I also have been training for some years now before Anaya was born. So like over 7 years now, I've been being coached myself. And I started with the meat thing, like you said, your rice, your chicken, and your veggie, rice, chicken, veggie. And it got to a point where I was like, I'm eating a lot of meat. And I think part of that is a self-awareness. I was like, this is just not working for me. So I started to do replacing. That was the way that I began my journey, was I started replacing things, taking different things out and substituting for something different. And I remember when I told my non-plant-based coach that I was interested in that, he's like, right? So they give you this funny look when you're thinking you want to go a different way with things. So needless to say, he's not my coach anymore, but also that was in Arizona. So I began by replacing things, and that worked for a while. But what I also got caught up into was, that junk food vegan lifestyle. I got caught up in that. And what began to happen when Anaya was about 2 years old is I started having gallbladder attacks. And does anybody know what's the main stem of a gallbladder attack? It's fat, fried foods specifically. And I know exactly what had happened, and it was a veggie corn dog, I admit, yes. So that's what set it off for me. In the meantime, I was a single mom here, actually in California, no family. And as I was in this pain, lying in the bed, not knowing what was wrong with me, I had to ask myself, like, if something does really go wrong with me, who's going to take care of her? Who is going to be here? And that was a reality check for me. It's like, you have to do something different, because if you're not well, then this situation is not going to work. And that's where I decided to tighten up and be more strict about what I needed to do. Now, in that time, because I didn't really know how to do a plant-based diet, I was on soups and salads. I went to Vegas, I had soup and salad in Vegas. I don't know who does that, but I did it. And so in that time, I lost a lot of weight. I didn't really know exactly what to do, so I didn't have that much guidance, and so I began to kind of, lose muscle and just kind of was pretty thin. Only knew that looking at pictures, looking at flashback photos. But what I'm getting to is that once I learned how to actually use a plant-based diet for my benefit, not only do I enjoy it, I have more fun in the kitchen because I never enjoyed cooking. And in addition to that, I'm healthier. I had these gallbladder attacks. I haven't had one since, not any. And that just makes me feel so good because this is something that a lot of people suffer from. Women of color especially. My mother had her gallbladder removed, grandmother had hers removed, cousins had theirs removed. And so to be able to speak in confidence with my doctor and say, I'm going to go another route is very empowering. And that's what's important for me, is for us to all begin to take our health in our own hands and know that we have the power inside of us to heal. And that's one of the biggest things that I want everyone to take away. So I got the time stamp, so I'm going to move on. Thank you so much for listening to us. In Plant-Based Fitness is in Oakland, California. That's where you can find us. You can go on Instagram at PlantBFitness and also at Thrive with Bree, Thrive with a Y. And you can come talk to me after for more contact information. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Next up, we have Monk Coleman. Can you tell us about yourself?
I want to. Guys. Come on. What's up? How's everybody doing? How many vegans in here? About half? I became vegan about 5 years ago. I went vegetarian about 7 years ago. My journey to veganism had nothing to do with veganism. I didn't know what it was before then, but I did know what alcoholism was. I did know what sickness in body, mind, and spirit was. I did know what dysfunction was. I did know what the streets was. I knew all that was. So it came to a point when, because of my lifestyle, I started to have these crazy bleeding symptoms. Now, anybody that knows, if you're bleeding when you're not supposed to be bleeding, you're about to be checking out. That's what was going on. So after my last child was born, these symptoms started happening immediately afterwards. I was an alcoholic, but like a lot of alcoholics, we don't think we're alcoholics. We just drink, we socially drink, but we socially drink every day, and it's a problem. So I came to a crossroads at that time. I had to stop, but I didn't know how to deal with it emotionally. It was my crutch. I didn't know how to deal with it. Anything that came up, any problem that I had, any uncomfortable feeling that I had, I always had that to fall back on, right? It always made me feel comfortable, so I had to stop. So what I did was, one night after a party, I said, I gotta be here for this girl, even though I had other kids by other women. But it made me look at myself like, do you wanna be here and live your purpose, or do you wanna check out? This is your only option right now, because if you continue, even for a little while, you're gonna be out of here. So I said, I gotta deal with this. So I looked up meditation. I sat down. Now, anybody that knows about meditation knows how powerful it is. You really basically connect to God. And I'm not talking about God, the puppet master. I'm talking about God yourself. And I sat down and I sat and I sat and I sat and I sat day after day. I stayed sober. I've been sober for over 11 years now. But what happened was 3 years into my meditation, I'm eating a vegetarian omelet in Oakland, because meat didn't sound good to me. And someone go, are you a vegetarian? I was like, yeah. I'm a vegetarian. I knew it. So 3 years into my meditation, I said I'm a vegetarian. I didn't know what a vegan was. Then I had to look it up because I knew it was gone. Have you ever had an experience where you just knew something was over? Like it was gone. There's no way, I'm not eating this no more. I don't know why, but I looked it up and it said because I was making a connection to all life and I didn't want to do any harm. Okay, that makes sense. I couldn't have killed my food. Even when I ate meat, I couldn't kill my food. If I had to, I would have been a vegetarian. I wouldn't have been able to kill it, right? So then I started looking up because I was in the gym at that time. I was sober, I was feeling good. And everybody, the image of a vegetarian is pale, skinny, like a long distance runner. I didn't want that look. So I had to start checking, and I've seen all that. I was like, they've been lying to us this whole time. They've been lying. Big money has been lying to us this whole time, making us sick, right? And then I was like, oh, I'll stick with the egg whites, and I'm not gonna check for milk in that's too much checking. Then I seen a video on the egg process and the milk process. I'm like, no. Really? They have to be pregnant? They have to be pregnant to have milk? Like, how did I not know that? They don't want you to know that, right? So after that, I get picked up by a supplement company, and I'm out there at a booth right now. It's 5 weeks later, I'm in a bodybuilding competition with people half my age. I'm about to be 50 years old in 1 month. And I was going up against 20-something-year-olds, and I did well. And then next year, I got my pro card. And then next year, I got a pro card from another federation. And last year, I got another pro card. So I'm a 3 times pro physique bodybuilder now. But that's not really important because it's just a physical thing. It's not important, it's superficial, right? So I'm just gonna leave you with one thing. What if how you were on the inside created your physical appearance? I'm gonna say that one more time. What if what you were, your beingness on the inside created what you looked like, what your physical appearance was? What would you focus on more? What would you focus on? Would you focus on your inner work? Or would you focus on materialism? Would you focus on your outer beauty? I'm gonna tell you right now, focusing on your inside and making yourself a better human being might not give you muscles, and it might not change your features, but it's gonna make you a more beautiful person. I promise you. So you can find me on Instagram, monk_eternal, and on Facebook, Vegan Monk. Thank you for your time. Thank you for listening.
Thank you so much, Monk. All right, last but not least, and the specific reason why I chose Delilah to be last, because she got a live performance, and I'm really excited. She's a close friend coming all the way from SoCal, so please give her a round of applause. Thank you, Delilah. Yes, so she will do a live performance right now. Where is your phone? Interactive, yes, that's what I'm talking about.
Participation.
Yes, stand on up, everybody. Support this amazing woman. Stand on up.
So one thing, I have like a quick message. Quick intro.
Sure, yeah. So give me an intro right now. Keep on standing up, you got it.
Right. Hey everyone, good afternoon. I'm glad you are here because it shows that you care about your health of yourself and the people around you. So definitely give yourselves a round of applause for investing in yourselves. All right, so my name is Delilah Bisase. I am a holistic plant-based dietitian. So that means with my clients, I focus on food, but also your mood and spiritual health and physical fitness, right? So one thing that people always ask me is like, what's the best workout to do? Like, should I do HIIT? Should I do weight? Should I do rock climbing, whatever? My piece of advice to all of you guys is do what makes you the happiest. When it comes to exercise, do what makes you the happiest because you don't want to view it as a chore. Whatever you enjoy the most is where you're gonna benefit from the most, right? So for some people that's dance, some people it's rock climbing, some people it's powerlifting. Whatever that is, find what that is for you because you're gonna benefit from it physically as well as mentally and emotionally. Cool, so that's my little nugget for you guys to take home. But yeah, I teach dance fitness, so we're about to move our bodies a little bit. Can we all do that? Oh, okay.
You want that? No,
yeah. No, you have to do it. No,
I'm not.
It's okay. It's like, nah.
Even personal trainers are shy.
I teach belly dance and Bollywood, and I kind of fuse the two together, and it's a little follow along, so you're just gonna kind of like march with me to the beat. Sound good? All right, so let's get this music situation going. All right. So before we get into it, everyone, lift up your arms. Keep them there for the next 6 minutes. Do not put them down. Keep it like that, okay? Keep it like that.
damn, girl.
Run for the audience too. Them doing something.
Round of applause! Good job!
You guys are fabulous. My name is Delilah. My company is Remedy by Delilah. So you can find me on Instagram, Remedy by Delilah, or my website is remedybydelilah.com. Please come up and talk to me afterwards if you want to get more info. Just say hi. I'm really nice. So feel free to come and say what's up. All right.
Can we get a round of applause for Delilah? Yes! So I just want to say that I really appreciate everyone here watching this panel because this is the first all vegan, all diversity panel of these gymnasts, these personal trainers, of all these weight trainers. That's a big thing because this is a situation of underappreciation of people that are actually doing things in the fitness industry. So I want people to give a round of applause to all these speakers right now. Yes. So I just want to do a very quick Q&A. If anyone has any questions for these personal trainers as well as athletes, please let me know, raise your hand, I'll come right over. Does anyone have any questions or comments? Just go ahead and raise your hand. Sure. What kind of question do you have for the audience?
Hi, I was just wondering, there's a lot of controversy about like keto and paleo and what the best diet is, especially for people who are like super into fitness and bodybuilding. How do you guys deal with like basically all of that kind of like misinformation being so mainstream and people thinking, well, you have to eat meat for protein and like all this stuff? Like, how do you guys just like kind of maybe combat that or try to, you know, help people understand the benefits of a plant-based diet?
Thank you so much. Does anybody want to answer this question? Okay. Sure.
Yes, so what's your name again?
Britt.
Thank you for your question, Britt. So the answer I like to give to people is seeing things from a whole perspective. And also not just like externally, but internally too. Like when you eat certain foods, how do you feel? When you eat like greasy, oily foods, when you eat animal foods, dairy, eggs, how do you feel? Awful, more times than not. So not just like, again, not internal, but external too. How much resources being used to create eggs, dairy, meat? Ridiculous amount. How much animal abuse and murder is being done? Billions, not millions, billions. From what I last heard, like over about 300 billion animals being killed for food a year. It's ridiculous. So much murder being allowed to be done in this planet. almost cursed. It's horrible. So I just like to tell people, just see it from a whole perspective. I've had clients before that had like, they eat keto or paleo, and I told them, just see it from a different perspective, not just from yourself, but like from the whole planet. So basically, sometimes I tell people, just be straight up with them. Don't be selfish, simple as that. And also too, to be more aware of how your body feels when you eat. So that's what I tell them. Then I smile and laugh. Yeah. Thank you for your question. Yes. Oh, yeah, by the way, shout out to Alex for bringing all of us together. Oh, he's like a vegan Nick Fury. Puts all like the vegan Avengers together. That's Alex. So shout out to Alex.
Oh, hey. Okay.
Yes, definitely shout outs to Alex for sure. So I'm really glad you asked that because in my office I see lots of clients who are like, I did keto and then I did paleo and da-da-da. What do you feel about this? When you come to see me, like we are not going to do the keto diet. We're not going to do paleo. Number one, those diets do not work because, first of all, when it comes to your food choices, it needs to be a lifestyle, not like a temporary, like 6 weeks, 8 weeks, even 1 year. These need to be choices that you're going to make for your life. Keto is not sustainable for the long run. Paleo even, it still is not the most realistic either, right? So that's one thing. Like it needs to be a lifestyle, not just like a 6 week, 8 week fix. Then also like look at the science too. Your brain needs carbs, right? So that's why these low carb diets also, like your body's not designed for that. And ketogenic, like your body is not supposed to be in ketosis. Like that's not a state that our body's supposed to be in for a prolonged amount of time. So just like looking at the actual physiology, like our body is not meant to do that. Like we need balanced diets. And it's as simple as like eating all your food groups, veggies, grains, fruits and, wait, what did I say? Veggies, sorry, I'm a little bit nervous. Fruits, veggies, grains, and legumes. There we go. Those are the 4 plant-based food groups that I always tell people to eat. So I tell folks, like, we need to eat balanced for life. And the reason why those diets are so popular, because they're so exaggerated and they like seem like a quick fix when like the real answer is so basic and so simple. Like people they almost like don't want to believe it. Because like, oh, I just have to eat regular food. Like it's not as like romanticized as like keto, paleo, go through all this grueling stuff. But no, you just have to eat balance, and like that's all it is. Yep. Thank you.
This is running right now. Okay, who is next? Here you go.
This question is for Coach Bree. I'm a senior working to participate in the Senior Olympics. I'd like your advice. What's the first 3 things that I should do to get started?
So we just have about a minute left, so can you answer this question, Coach?
Sure. Thank you very much. What sports are you looking to compete in?
Probably the 50 or long jump.
Mm-hmm. The first thing that you definitely want to do is to learn about your macros. You know, when it comes to nutrition and fitness, macros are really important because it tells you how many calories that you want to intake per day based on your activity level. So when you come into a certain high level of activity, that means more calories. And that also speaks to when we talk about people who want to do keto to build and gain, the point is how many calories do you need? And so that's one of the first things that you want to do. The second thing that you want to do with your training for any kind of sport, any kind of competition, is to identify your training program. Training programs are important because they're going to prevent injury. They're going to guide you from where you are to where you want to be. And then the third thing I definitely recommend is finding a coach who's going to help you through that process, or probably the coach before the program, really. But those are the 3 things that you want to do, is know what your calorie needs are, how you can reach those, what training program you're going to have, and what kind of support and accountability you'll need for that. Okay? Hope that answered it in a quick way. Thank you.
Thank you to everyone who joined this talk, because we're creating exposure that's not out there. We're creating exposure for people of diversity in the healing community. So I want to give a round of applause to all our speakers. And thank you for being a part of this talk. After this speech, I would really love for you guys to contact everyone personally, talk to them, let them know how you feel and what kind of context you want. So thank you for being part of this panel. I love you all. Good job, everyone.